Have you ever sensed that someone was thinking of you at the exact moment you felt a shift in your soul, but you couldn't explain why? Do you feel an invisible pull towards someone who seems emotionally unavailable, distant, or unaware? You notice the signs, the dreams, the synchronicities. But you're left wondering, does he feel any of this too? Or is it all just in your heart? In today's video, we're going to take you behind the curtain of the divine masculine's silent awakening. We'll reveal 6 deeply hidden signs, subtle yet powerful synchronicities that he may never say out loud, but that speak volumes about how his soul responds to yours. These aren't the obvious signs you see on the surface. These are sacred, soul-encoded moments that only he experiences, and often without even knowing why. By the end of this video, you'll no longer feel confused by his silence or doubt your own intuition. You'll begin to see the divine masculine's journey through a new lens, one where detachment is not absence, but quiet transformation. These 6 signs will help you recognize that the connection is very much alive, just unfolding in a sacred rhythm that you're both a part of. What once felt like emotional distance may begin to look like divine timing in motion. So stay with us until the very end, because these 6 signs might not only confirm what your soul has always known, but they might also be the affirmation you've been praying for. Watch closely, because he's not as disconnected as he appears. The signs are all around him. The question is, are you ready to see them? Number 1, emotional echoes through music. Sometimes, the universe doesn't send messages in grand gestures or celestial signs. It whispers through melodies, drifting gently through the unnoticed corners of his day. He's not looking for meaning. He's not digging through old playlists or trying to remember her. He's just living, pouring coffee, driving to work, folding laundry with a show humming in the background. And then, it happens. A song begins to play. Not just any song, but the song. The one that halts him mid-thought, mid-motion, mid-breath. The one that wraps around his chest like a memory, but deeper, older, timeless. He didn't choose it. He didn't summon it. Yet there it is. A line, a lyric, a melody that pierces straight through his carefully built distractions. For a moment, she's no longer just a memory. She's present. Her energy seeps through the lyrics, through the rhythm, through the very air. His soul recognizes what the mind still resists. This isn't coincidence. It's connection. These aren't random songs tossed into the wind. They are messages delivered in the only language the soul can't ignore: sound. These melodies are portals, crossing dimensions, bypassing logic, and awakening truth. Each one is an echo, not of the past, but of the soul's eternal memory. Even if he brushes it off, even if he changes the station or turns down the volume, the imprint remains. The tune lingers in his mind, looping like a sacred reminder. She's still here. Over time, it happens again. A different day, a different place, a different setting, but the same emotional pull, the same quiet ache. He wonders how something so seemingly accidental can feel so deeply intentional. And the answer is simple: because it is. These songs don't just play. They arrive, guided by something higher, chosen by something wiser. They show up not to haunt, but to heal, to remind him of a love that transcends distance, silence, and time. So even when the music stops, the feeling doesn't. Her presence remains, echoing in the silence between notes, hidden in the spaces between thoughts. It's not imagination. It's soul memory, alive and singing. Before we move on, take a moment to reflect. Has a song ever stopped you in your tracks, made your heart ache, your breath catch, and brought someone's energy rushing back to you without warning? These aren't just emotional accidents. They are soul messages that carry truth beyond logic. If this resonated with you, we'd love to hear your story. Share a moment when music awakened something deep within you, or simply type "The song never forgets" in the comments to affirm the connection. Your words could be the reminder someone else needs to know they're not alone. Let's continue this journey together. Number 2. The discomfort in crowds and the peace in solitude. A deeper awakening. There comes a turning point in his journey where the once comforting noise of the world transforms into a kind of chaos, no longer a balm, but a burden. He used to thrive in movement, surrounded by chatter and the energy of bustling rooms. The distractions were a shield, allowing him to ignore the quiet ache underneath. The laughter, the noise, the endless conversations, they helped him outrun something he didn't yet have the words for. But slowly, almost imperceptibly, that external world begins to lose its flavor. Crowded spaces that once energized him now leave him feeling empty. Parties feel forced. Interactions feel superficial. Even when surrounded by people, a deep loneliness starts to surface, one that isn't cured by more company, but instead made louder by it. The mask he wears in public, his smile, his charm, his indifference, starts to feel suffocating. It's not that he no longer wants connection. It's that those connections no longer touch the part of him that's awakening. And so, he begins to retreat, not out of fear or bitterness, but out of a growing need for truth. He chooses solitude, not as a hiding place, but as a sanctuary. It's in the early morning stillness, when the world hasn't yet spoken, that he begins to feel something shift. In the soft rustling of leaves outside his window, in the quiet moments before sleep, in the gentle hush of his own breath, he senses her. She's not there physically, but her presence is unmistakable. It's a warmth in his chest, a calm that defies explanation. In that silence, she speaks to him without a voice. Her soul reaches for his, not with urgency, but with an ancient familiarity that calms everything inside him. The universe, in its wisdom, quiets the world around him so he can finally listen to what truly matters. And what he once mistook as loneliness becomes something sacred, awakening. He realizes then that stillness isn't emptiness, it's clarity. And in that sacred space, in the peace he once feared, he finds his deepest connection to her. Not through noise, but through resonance. Not through presence, but through soul memory. And it's there, in the quiet, where he feels her most. Number 3. Unfinished conversations that linger when words become echoes of the soul. Some conversations don't end with a goodbye. They linger, suspended in time, repeating in the quiet spaces of his mind. It's not the full story he replays, not the fights or the resolutions, but the fragments. The moments that held weight without explanation. A laugh that lit up her face. A look she gave when she let her guard down. A phrase she once said so casually that now feels etched into his bones. These are more than memories. They are sacred echoes, whispers from the past that still carry meaning in the present. He doesn't revisit these moments out of longing or regret. It's deeper than that. It's recognition. His soul, now more awake than it was then, begins to decode the hidden truth behind her words. He remembers the tone she used, the pauses she left between sentences, the way her voice would tremble slightly when she tried to be strong. Back then, he didn't understand. He wasn't listening with the ears of his soul. But now, those same words replay like scripture, alive, relevant, and deeply revealing. Sometimes, a stranger's voice will echo her cadence. Or someone will say a phrase she used to say, and for a fleeting second, time folds in on itself. He feels her there, not as a ghost or a memory, but as a presence. Not haunting, but holding space. There's no fear in these moments, only a quiet reverence. He doesn't try to force closure because he understands now. Some conversations were never meant to end. They were meant to evolve inside him. And even if he never shares this with anyone, even if he keeps this knowing buried beneath his daily life, there is no denying it. Her voice still lives within him, not in a way that holds him back, but in a way that reminds him of the truth he missed while distracted. She became a part of his inner dialogue, his silent compass. The unfinished words continue to shape him, guide him, and awaken him. Because in the realm of soul connections, it's not about how the conversation ended. It's about how it continues to speak long after the silence begins. One evening, he was walking through a quiet bookstore, aimlessly browsing titles he didn't plan to buy, when he heard a song playing softly in the background. It wasn't just any song. It was their song. The one that used to play in her kitchen while she made tea, humming off-key and smiling when she caught him watching her. Suddenly, the atmosphere changed. The air felt heavier, but not in a painful way, in a sacred way. A line from the chorus echoed a phrase she once whispered when she thought he wasn't really listening. Back then, he didn't fully grasp the depth of her words. But in that moment, standing between dusty shelves and the scent of old paper, the truth she tried to share finally landed. He didn't need her physically there to understand. Her voice, her energy, the emotional weight of her presence, they lived within him, waiting for stillness to rise again. That brief encounter in a random shop wasn't a coincidence. It was a reminder. Her soul still speaks to him in the most ordinary places, turning everyday moments into portals of remembrance. Number 4. Emotional shifts without reason. There are moments in his day when everything around him remains the same, yet something within him stirs. It's not tied to any event, conversation, or memory. Out of nowhere, a sudden wave washes over him. A deep sadness he can't explain. An unexpected calm that settles his spirit. Or a restlessness that seems to have no root. These aren't ordinary mood swings. They are not products of his mind. They are subtle transmissions, sacred energy exchanges that bypass logic and speak directly to the soul. The divine masculine, even when he appears emotionally detached or physically distant, remains energetically attuned to her. He might not consciously seek her presence. He may not even realize when his thoughts have wandered toward her. But when her energy shifts, when she feels pain, finds clarity, or longs for him, he receives it. Not through words or actions, but through sensation. He feels her sadness as a weight in his chest. He feels her peace as an unexpected serenity that softens his edges. He feels her longing as a nervous energy, a restlessness that tightens his breath without cause. At first, he brushes it off. He tells himself it's just stress, just life, just a passing cloud. But then, a quiet knowing rises from the depths of him, a whisper he can't ignore. It's her. Even if he doesn't understand how or why, he senses the truth of it. His soul recognizes the vibration of hers, even when his mind tries to suppress it. These emotional shifts are not coincidences. They are soul echoes. They are sacred signals of a connection that exists beyond time and space. Invisible to the world, but deeply felt within. While he may not speak of it, may not be able to explain it to anyone else, he knows. In the silence, in the stillness, in the unexplainable currents that move through him, he knows the bond is alive. And even when no one else can see it, he feels it as something truer than any spoken word, a divine thread connecting his heart to hers. If you've made it this far, it means you've felt it too. The silent pull, the unspoken connection, the emotions that rise without reason. You're not imagining things. These moments are real, sacred, and part of something greater than logic can explain. Take a moment to reflect. Have you ever felt someone else's emotions as if they were your own? If this resonated with you, We'd love to hear your story in the comments. Or if you're not ready to share your full journey yet, simply type, "I feel the connection" as an affirmation that you recognize the truth within these words. Your story might just help someone else feel less alone. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if this message touched your soul. We're walking this path together. Number 5. When nature knows before he does. There are times when the truth whispers not through people, but through nature, quiet, unwavering, and ancient. He may not say it out loud, but something around him has shifted, and nature knows. It begins subtly. A stray dog sits outside the coffee shop, staring not with fear, but with familiarity, as if it recognizes a shift in his spirit. A bird lands on his window each morning, tilting its head not out of curiosity, but as if it's trying to mirror something he's feeling, but hasn't yet named. A cat brushes past his legs in the exact moment her name enters his thoughts. A butterfly flutters across his path just as he falls into deep silence, thinking of nothing, and somehow everything. He tries to brush it off as random, meaningless, but it keeps happening. Different animals, different places, same uncanny timing. It becomes too persistent to ignore. Nature is far older than our doubts. Animals don't need language. They feel energy. They read the unspoken. They are drawn to vibration, to frequency, to emotional truth. And when they begin acting differently around him, it's not about coincidence. It's about resonance. What's happening isn't visible to most, but to the natural world, it's undeniable. Something inside him has changed since she entered his life. Even if he tells himself he's fine or over it, the energy says otherwise. The animals sense it. They feel the quiet ache, the unspoken yearning, the soul that's opening even in silence. And in those quiet, fleeting encounters, he begins to feel it too. Not consciously, perhaps, but viscerally. He's being seen, acknowledged, mirrored back, not through words, but through instinct. This isn't about superstition. It's about a deeper rhythm, the language of the universe speaking through wings and paws and fur and feathers. These signs remind him that he's not alone, not lost, not disconnected. His journey is not a solitary walk. It's part of something larger, something sacred, a pulse, a current, a living rhythm. And somewhere in that rhythm, whether through a bird's gaze or a butterfly's visit, her energy is there too, echoing, guiding, always present, even when unseen. Number 6. A vision of a future he can't explain. There are moments when the mind quiets just enough for the soul to speak, and in those moments he sees something he can't explain. It doesn't arrive like a dream or a wish. It arrives like a memory, not of the past, but of the future. A sunlit kitchen he's never stepped foot in, yet feels like home. The echo of laughter shared in a space that doesn't exist on any map. A forest trail he's never walked, but somehow knows by heart. These images flicker through him in the silence between thoughts, sudden, vivid, and strangely familiar. He doesn't daydream often, but this is something different. This isn't fantasy. This isn't escapism. This is soul memory, a deep knowing that transcends logic. A future that his spirit remembers even when his mind tries to dismiss it. And always, in these scenes, there is someone beside him. Maybe she's blurred, or just out of focus. Maybe her face is turned away. But his heart recognizes her presence instantly. It's her. He doesn't share these visions with anyone, not out of fear, but reverence. It feels too sacred to be spoken aloud. It's not meant to be analyzed. It's meant to be felt. And no matter how many times he tries to push it away, it always returns, sometimes gently, sometimes with aching urgency. It appears in quiet moments of stillness and even in the chaos of daily life, like a compass pointing towards something deeper than the path he currently walks. This vision, doesn't demand answers. It waits patiently for belief, for surrender, for him to stop questioning and start remembering. Because this isn't about longing, it's about alignment. The future he sees isn't a hope, it's a homecoming, a sacred echo of a destiny that was written long before they met in this lifetime. Even when logic tells him to let it go, the image lingers, soft, steady, persistent, because it wasn't born from imagination, it's born of the soul's remembrance. And somewhere deep within, he understands. He's not chasing a fantasy. He's moving towards something real, something eternal, something already his. There are moments in life when logic falls silent, and all that remains is the soft, steady pulse of something deeper, something eternal. This is the quiet knowing that exists beneath the noise of distraction, beneath the masks we wear, and beneath the stories the world tries to tell us. For the divine masculine, the journey is not about grand gestures or poetic declarations. It's about the subtle awakening, the way a song brings her name to his chest, the way a dream lingers like truth, the way nature behaves differently in her absence. These aren't random. These are sacred cues from the universe, reminding him that love like this is not something you understand with the mind. It's something you remember with the soul. This path is not about chasing someone outside of you. It's about returning to who you were before the world told you to forget. It's about becoming aware, becoming conscious, becoming love. To the divine feminine, even in his silence, he's listening. Even when he looks away, his soul turns toward you. And to the divine masculine, what you feel isn't a mistake. What stirs in your chest when you think of her, that is your compass, not your confusion. You are not imagining this. You are awakening. So ask yourself, what is your soul trying to remember? Let that question guide you as you reflect on what you just heard. If this message resonated with your journey, leave a comment below with the words, "My soul remembers, even when I forget." Let that be your affirmation, your declaration, your truth. Don't let this moment pass in silence. Like this video to affirm your path. Share it with someone who needs this reminder. And if you feel called, watch the next video below for deeper clarity, more signs, and soul-led guidance. Until next time, trust the signs, trust your heart, and above all, trust the silence. It knows more than words ever will.